What's up, guys? Rogue9 here again. Thank you so much for rejoining us today at the Rainbow Six Invitational 2018. Today we have the semi-finals. Really exciting stuff. And with me again, my fellow YouTube content creator, Prodigio Pete.
Yep, thanks everyone for tuning in. We've got a really exciting semi-final. Winner of this team will play Penta in the final tomorrow. And it's the last two North American teams. We have Evil Geniuses versus Rogue. So Rogue, tell me...
That's not going to cause any confusion.
Tell me who you're supporting.
Evil Geniuses.
We've got a really interesting game today. Two teams that know each other really well. They've played each other lots of times in their own region, in the qualifications leading up to this point over the years as well. So I think they're two teams that are going to know the strategies. And there's a bit of a link between them as well. You guys will remember last year, Evil Genius is known as Continuum then.
I feel like they've definitely proved
and
what they're
they
capable.
had King George at that point, who then went on to captain Rogue, but he isn't there anymore. I think they took on Easily as his replacement. So there's a bit of a tie-in between these two teams. We have a player who was with Rogue, who also won the last Invitational with the reigning champions.
Yeah. And I think sort of talking about their performance yesterday, both teams coming through their quarterfinals had really, really tough matchups. You had Rogue playing against the French team Supremacy, and the first map, Supremacy wiped the floor with them. It was almost done, and then you'd think this match is going to go to the second map, and we're not going to see Rogue progress.
That was amazing. I actually thought Supremacy were going to blow them away. Was it 5-1 in the end?
Yep,
that first map.
Yep.
And then the second map, it was completely the opposite. Rogue really came back so strong. And then obviously we had the deciding map where Rogue pulled it out of the bag. So we have this all-American semi-final. So we're going to have one EU team and one NA team in the final. And it was much the same story as well with Evil Geniuses. It wasn't necessarily an easy ride for them. It was another 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. It went to the third map. It was quite a tough matchup against FaZe. Now, as a Brazilian team, a lot of people had maybe not counted on them doing as well, but up until the quarterfinals, and even yesterday for sure, FaZe did extremely well in their games, and they delivered a very, very tough match to Evil Geniuses.
Very good test for Evil Geniuses yesterday, and I think both of them are ready now for this semi-final. Everything's on the line. It's such a big match, representing North America against, one of the other favourites that we discussed yesterday, Penta. So hopefully we're going to have an amazing semi-final today. So are we getting ready here for the map selection and the ban phase? Yep, let's sat down. There we are. So Skyscraper, Bank and Chalet have been banned by Evil Geniuses. Coastline Border, Oregon by Rogue, which leaves Cafe, Clubhouse and Consulate, with Consulate being the decider map if it's needed. So we're going to start off with Cafe, move on to Clubhouse, and then potentially we could see Consulate depending on how close those two first maps are. So what do you think about Cafe and Clubhouse?
Definitely interesting maps to see. I wouldn't be able to give either team their favourites or predict which one will be easier for which team. I think we'll see a close competition on both of those maps.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think we're going to see a really tight match here. I'm hoping we are. I'd like, ideally, to see it go to the decider. Obviously, there's going to be heartbreak here, whatever happens to one team, and the other team is going to be elated and move on to tomorrow. But I could see this potentially going to the third map. Fingers crossed, I hope it does, because that'll make for all the more interesting event.
It is always far more exciting. And I think it is kind of this bittersweet pill having two US teams play each other. Because on the one hand, there's a lot of US fans we were speaking to yesterday who are really excited because they know for sure that one of their teams is going to make it to the final. At the same time, they have to now play each other and one has to be knocked out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the support here for the North American teams is just amazing. I was in the arena yesterday watching FaZe versus Evil Geniuses, and my God, the crowd was just amazing. The level of noise and support for both teams, but especially for Evil Geniuses. And Canadian was up on stage, you know, given it just really made for such an atmospheric event.
It's really nice to see how excited the players were getting,
Yeah.
as well as the crowd. And I think this arena is almost perfect for that, the setup we have down there. So if you have the two teams, large screens suspended above them, and then the whole crowd in a very close environment, in a bowl sort of around that floor.
Yeah, the teams down there, they're not separated from the crowd whatsoever. They're not insulated by a glass panel or anything like that. Of course, they've got the big headset on, and underneath they have their little earpieces in as well so they can hear the game. But they are right down there, and they can feel the crowd when they're giving it some. They have these clappers, and it really is so loud. So I think the atmosphere out there with these two North American teams is going to be amazing. And
yeah,
I think you're going to pick that up in the stream sound as well.
Exactly, yeah. So, speaking maybe, we've just gone through the map ban process. In case you weren't there, I kind of sort of explained it yesterday. The way that works is you have the two teams, a total pool of 9 maps, and each team gets to ban 1 map or 3 maps in turn, so 1 each, and then cycling through until you're left with 3 left over. But saying that, we're now ready to get into the first match.
Yeah, so here we are, both teams lining up for Cafe. You can see the Evil Geniuses roster at the top there. We have Canadian, NVK, Necrox, BC. Help me out with the last guy. And then, Art Young. There he is, right at the front there. So here we go. Evil Geniuses on attack, Rogue setting up defense around the train room area. Not an uncommon defensive location. Okay, hatch being sealed above by Easily. Nice little murder hole so they can catch anyone coming in through the window, and also down those stairs at the back from the train room.
Castle doors protecting both of the doors into that bomb site there on A. That's very useful, obviously, for protecting against a close-range push once Evil Geniuses push through into there. But at the same time, it also limits the rotation possibilities in and around that bomb site for the defenders.
We've seen some interesting use of those castle doors in this tournament and before in the Pro League, to be honest, where they will pre-prep them or will have an impact grenade used, and it just gives the defense that easy access to go and pick off an attacker who really, you know, sometimes the attacker will look at a castle door and feel as though they're safe from that position, but of course an impact grenade can change that very quickly and pull them out of their comfort zone. See, we have setup going up on the roof. We're looking through the skylight and we're getting the hatch open for a push into the bar area.
Vertical gameplay is so crucial on this map specifically, and we see there BC playing as the Buck. He's gonna be quite a crucial player, playing from above the bomb sites there.
I was watching the, as I said to you guys earlier, I was watching the game yesterday, and one of the pro-casters, obviously we're just rookies doing this to, you know, get you guys interested in this Pro League, and I would obviously say go over and make sure you watch the final tomorrow with the professionals. But one of the things they said that was interesting about BC is how accurate he is with those grenades, that if BC could get a headshot with a grenade, he would do. He is that accurate. So having him on Buck makes an awful lot of sense, particularly on a map where there is so much vertical gameplay and plenty of floors where you're going to be able to open up and see down. So there we are, fighting over the stairs. Obviously we have Twitch there aiming down. A lot of defenders will hold those stairs. It's such a powerful position. Obviously you just need to go back down the stairs and you're in cover, and then you can come up and pick off those headshots.
Now you're talking about BC and his ability with the grenades. The first kill of the match goes to BC with the hand grenade.
Surprise, surprise. BC, Mr. Grenade.
The Canadian there now using his Twitch drone to just sort of clear the upstairs floor of defenders' gadgets, but also make sure that there's no one lurking anywhere around for him.
Yeah, it's really important to get these floors open above, as you see Bucky's doing there. They know the general locations where the defenders are going to be below. Pulse, obviously, looking out for those people above. Perhaps we'll see some sneaky C4s. But what they'll do is they'll be looking at very specific locations around the objective and the rooms around that where they know defenders are going to be holed up and difficult to move out of position. So we're down to the last 25 seconds. Still got 9 players on the board, so the attackers really need to start making a move now.
Eclipse pushing up the back stairs, but getting engaged by Canadian. Neither of them going down. It's sort of a tentative firefight, but really time against Evil Geniuses now, and that is Young going down. Brian's gone 2 shots.
Brian down now from Necrox. Eclipse taken down BC. Do you know what? That was an amazing defensive round. To stall out the attackers, that last push, 20 seconds, and there was still 9 players on the board. I know BC picked up that grenade earlier, but to have 4 players, 4 defenders alive with only 15, 20 seconds remaining is special, really, to be able to do that. So I think, Evil Geniuses are known for how quickly they can adapt to the other team's strategy. So I think we're going to see some level of adaptation there. You may see Rogue pick up the first few wins, but it's the thing that Evil Geniuses are known for is adapting to the other team and then going from there.
Yeah, it was a great defense, slowing down the push. I mean, once you get to those last 10, 15, even 20 seconds, it really puts all of the pressure on the attacking team. And what we so frequently see in these Pro League games is that when it comes to that, the push just is forced and it just unravels almost instantly.
We spoke about it yesterday. You're taking risks that, ideally, you're not putting the odds in your favour, but you have to push as the attacker, and you're taking a risk where you may want to go with a 70-30 chance of winning those duels, but maybe you're pushing with a 10 to 90 chance, but the time's against you. So that's the defenders doing their job well, not necessarily attackers doing their job badly. So that one was credit to Rogue.
I have to say I'm also a little bit surprised that EG didn't push earlier there, that they didn't start increasing the pressure earlier. They were very tentative, very cautious, maybe quite careful not to lose any of their players early.
Canadian will be making a mental note of where they set their defence up, and he will be on the fly adapting his team's tactics to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And you'll probably see in their next attack that it will be a lot smoother when they're attacking that bomb site. But anyway, we're back on the roof. A similar prep going on for the attacking team, and let's see if Rogue can get themselves into the objective a little bit quicker than Evil Geniuses did in that first round.
First minute down already though, almost, and yet we're still to make entry, and it's only the drones going in at this stage.
Yeah, a lot of droning for teammates, just trying to find those exact locations where the defenders are, and that's really how you do it. You see Avian here droning his teammates in Eclipse 2, and then other attackers will just push in behind those drones, knowing exactly where to pick off those duels.
Eclipse playing as the sledge there. Not only can he open up that hatch, but then also starting to open up the wall above the reinforcement, just giving him a little bit of a sight into the neighboring room.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, what do you think the logic is behind picking, say, a sledge over a buck on a map like this? I mean, there's a lot of verticality in the map. Do you think they had an idea that the objective would be on the top floor, or do you think, because obviously if it's going to be one floor below, you would definitely want the buck to be able to go in above.
So, absolutely. I mean, we see sometimes just the sledge being picked over and above the buck, and I think it's partially personal preference. You can't argue that the shotgun attachment for buck is a more versatile tool. It can open from below, it can open from above, it can open from a distance, whereas sledge can only hit walls or floors that he's actually right next to. So there is that advantage to Buck, but at the same time, the recoil on his weapon is, of course, so powerful that he's more challenging to use.
Yeah, Eclipse down, followed by lots of trades going on here. We're down to 3 versus 2. So we had Ying getting the smokes and the candelas in from above through the skylight, and the diffuser is now down, so it's quite a common strategy there.
Only Avian left, though. Now he goes down. That's probably the diffuser destroyed.
So we're going to have another defensive round win. 1-all.
Well played by Evil Geniuses there.
Very well played, yeah.
After the diffuser going down to pull it back and take control of that map.
Rogue, you know, Rogue did get the diffuser down, just a couple of picks. There weren't enough people to ultimately protect that diffuser once it was down. They just needed a couple more people alive. But the overall strategy did seem to work. It was just that final little element that was missing. So we now move on and see how Evil Geniuses get on with their second attack round, see if they can do any better than the first time round.
I think the simple change to make is be more conscious of the time, and they will know that. They'll definitely adapt to that this time. Different bomb site though.
Different bomb site, of course. Yeah, so they're attacking the same bomb site we saw defended in the last match. I wonder if we'll see, you know, some... Oh, we've got players dropping out, so we're going to have a bit of a reset here. There must be some sort of technical issue going on in the game.
Yeah, even though it's a LAN, it does occasionally happen that individual players or even the entire team do disconnect. So we'll be seeing that, probably that entire round restarted in a moment's time.
Yeah, because it happened during the prep phase, they'll just reset the game, put them all back in, and we'll just play the round out from the beginning. We don't know how long that will take, but it may just be a couple of minutes, so do stick with us. So we know that Evil Geniuses are going to be attacking that top floor. I didn't actually get to see all of their operator picks because some of the players were disconnecting, but do you think we might see that Ying Candela push through the skylight, something similar?
I think it can certainly work, yes.
Seems like quite a popular strategy. Get those in. You can also have people jumping in through the skylight, putting a diffuser down, and then you want someone rappelling maybe on a window, some protection, but you can get a lot of protection from that skylight if you're just careful of, you know.
It is an extremely accessible bomb site on that top floor, and especially you mentioned Ying, it's so hard to protect against thrown projectiles from that skylight. Okay, you can put an ADS down with Jaeger, but at the end of the day, where can you hide it from the attackers? Because you stick it on any of the walls there, any of the floors, it's visible, and it'll just get shot before you put down your smoke grenades and your candelas.
And not only that, I mean, they'll use utility to try and take down those ADSs to make sure the candelas go off. You could have people throwing flashbangs in. If they drone through and they see those ADS devices in there, or they don't have a twitch to necessarily, you know, take them out, then you could have someone like Ash or someone put some flashbangs in just to burn them down so that the candelas and the smokes do go off.
And at the same time, if you in parallel have someone on those side windows pushing through there, creating pressure onto the defenders that are trying to hold off a push from the skylight, very challenging. And then, of course, you have the hatch above the stairwell right next to the cigar shop there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly common sort of entry point. Obviously, they'll drone around the piano room to make sure that's a safe entry point and make sure that the cigar lounge is clear too, and then they can push in there and have direct access. The main thing that they've got to be wary of as an attacker is the vertical gameplay. You know, there's not a pulse below that's going to be watching, so they have to make sure they're careful with the roamers on the floor below with this objective. And then obviously you saw with the last objective the roamers were above, so it's a little bit of a flip around there. On the top floor you're going to have people below with C4 that are going to be, you know, a big problem that you're trying to eliminate first.
Yeah, and with that, so we're going to get these technical issues sorted out. We'll be with you shortly again. Oh, it's still going on? Okay, in fact, we will not go to a break. We will stay with you. The game will come back shortly. That's my misunderstanding. Apologies for that. And in fact, as I say that, here we go. We're back there.
Teams have loaded back in. We're just going to restart that round from the beginning. So we have... Yeah, we're on round 3. The scoreboard says 0-0. It isn't. It hasn't been reset all the way to the beginning. It's round 3. There we go. It's updated. And we have Evil Geniuses back on the attack. Notice we don't have a Ying. So we do have the switch that we discussed. We have a Jackal, a Hibana, a Fatra, and a Buck. BC on Buck again, no big surprises there.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you can approach a map in so many different ways, and the team's just gone for a different strategy this time.
That's what makes it interesting. If everyone picked the same operators, it would get quite boring and the meta would be very stale. So what is actually interesting for us is to see how the teams choose to attack it and what the counterplay is, what they're expecting the defenders to do.
Having Hibana there, obviously, over a Thermite, more useful since she can deploy her breaching charges from a distance, maybe through the hatch, maybe through the skylight. So definitely more useful than Thermite there, who would have to get up close.
Yeah, and then on the defense with Rogue, you've got 2 area denial operators. You've got Smoke, you know, obvious what he's going to be doing, but you've got the Echo, so he's going to have that drone, and he might be there at the last minute to try and stop that diffuser getting fully set. So the Echo is probably the key one, what Avian's operator there that they want to be keeping alive, because if he can be hidden away somewhere, not be pinned down by the attackers, then really his job is to just ensure that they don't have enough time when they're trying to set that diffuser before he gets them.
NVK now as Jackal making entry to the train room, getting engaged by Slashhug's Ella.
Yeah, you notice that the attackers are in the building much quicker than we saw in their first attack round. So they've obviously taken note, and we've seen a duel here, and Eclipse does take down NVK, one of the big hitters on the Evil Geniuses team, and then goes down Canadian as well, 5 versus 3. So it's not looking too good for Evil Geniuses at the moment, but still a minute and a half left for them to make something happen.
And I suppose that's the risk you run. If you're trying to get into the objective faster, you do run the risk of losing some of your attackers.
Yep, and then they're down to 5 versus 2. Necrox also down. Slashhug having a very good round there as Ella. Oh, we've got another duel coming up here in the next...
BC taking down Slashhug though.
Here we go. Jaeger just retreating back to safety there.
But he's done his job.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely.
Stopped the push, didn't manage to get away, get flanked there by Thatcher, played by Young. BC now down, hopefully going to get reset by Young. That will give them back to 2 players versus 3, although we're down to the last 45 seconds, so they're still up against it here.
They're still, yeah, they're up against it, but the odds are a little more in their favour with those last couple of trades. Here we go, let's see if we... No, not this time BC, but nice try.
I think those 2 grenades were mostly distractions. Maybe he could have gone lucky, but I think mostly to sort of push away the defenders from that area and distract the sound as they move up the back stairs.
The big play to watch here is Echo. Obviously, you know, most of the roamers are now eliminated. The defenders have got back on site. They've got the smokes. They've got everything they need to really, you know, prevent Evil Geniuses getting this diffuser down. There we are. So, 2-1 to Rogue.
Yeah, well played by Brian at the end there, putting down the smoke, making it very difficult for the attacking team, for Evil Geniuses to push in through that.
Yeah, another great defensive round, really. I think what will be interesting to see is who breaks that run. Who is going to be the team to lose the defensive round, and that might be the thing that, you know, really makes a difference in this particular map. Because they seem to know each other quite well, you know, from a defensive standpoint. They seem to know what to expect.
Yeah, we've seen exactly the same from both teams so far. Well set up, well planned out. The defenders doing everything they need to do, slowing down the attack, retreating if necessary, and even when they then lose 1 or 2 players, they've done their job. They've delayed the attack by so much that at the end of the day, there's not enough time to get that plant down.
Absolutely. I mean, if Rogue wins this round, then I think we might be seeing, you know, a real turn in the events. But I think looking at what we've seen so far, potentially we're going to see another defensive round win, but I don't want to make predictions because obviously it's, you know, it's too soon into this match. We're only 3 rounds in at the beginning of the 4th. So we're back to the train room. Evil Genius is setting up. They've again got the castle. They've also got the smoke, the mirror, bandit, and a pulse.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Here we go. Start of the action phase.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
This is Pulse, just trying to get an idea where the attackers are spawning and where they're coming in from, to get that early intel for his team so they can start moving around and expecting the entry points into the map.
We've seen this happen quite a few times now, especially on this map. Even when pro players, they all park their drones in the same area, and the first drone you come to ends up being the wrong one.
Yes, it's typical, you know.
Rogue taking now control of the roof area, being cautious through that hatch, and hopefully, well, I say hopefully, probably going to then make entry from there. Yeah, we've got all 5 of their team up on the roof, trying to control that floor below them before making entry and working their way down.
Yeah, what they want to do is try and get a couple of picks. You see that the Evil Geniuses team do have 2 defenders currently on the floor above where the objective is. What they want to try and do is eliminate those 2 defenders, and then they can start opening up the floors and start looking down and trying to get those picks from defenders sort of, you know, huddled up in the objective area. But you notice a lot of utilities being used by the defensive team there to hold that upper floor. Although Eclipse does fall and some of the defenders do seem to be dropping down already.
Yeah, fairly quick retreat there at that stage, especially leaving behind the mirror window.
Oh, a nice trade out there by Canadian, taking down Slash. So we now have 5 left for Evil Geniuses and only 3 for Rogue.
So that's all of the roamers on the top floor down. Evil Geniuses have full control. Buck now can really go to work, opening up that floor, making it very difficult for the defenders to rotate throughout the objective site. And then once the rest of the team start putting some pressure on from the sides, it's going to be very challenging to defend.
This is all about just avoiding mistakes now on Evil Geniuses' part, because Rogue need to try and get a pick from above, and Evil Geniuses just need to tuck in and stay safe and not give them that free kill. You know, force them to come down and contest the objective and in a 5 versus 3. Don't let them pick up a free kill and make it a 4 versus 3. Try and keep those full contingent of 5 defenders alive, which is obviously the strategy with pulling them back into the floor below. So here we go, 20 seconds remaining. They're getting set now to make this push.
15 seconds to go.
So we're down to 2 versus 3. Canadian's just been dropped by Brian. Brian's now down himself from Necrox, and Avian taking down Young. Another defensive round win. No big surprises there, Rogue.
Yeah, absolutely. It did get a little bit close at the end there. You did have a bit of a trade backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
But you have to say the time was against Rogue there. Evil Geniuses holding steady despite relinquishing control of the top floor pretty quickly.
Yeah. They lost 2 of their attackers in quite quick succession, trying to hunt down and eliminate those top floor roamers. Excellent job from the defensive team there, getting the attackers' numbers dwindling down and then just retreating back to the objective and saying, hey, come and take us on 5 versus 3. They just made the job so hard for them. Great play on the defensive round there by Evil Geniuses.
So next round started, we are 2 apiece. All of the defensive rounds so far have worked out. We're seeing exact same setup by Rogue there with the two castle barricades around that A-bomb site, easily upstairs, controlling the hatches, making it more difficult for the attacking team to work down, and making them expend that utility either with the thermite or the Hibana.
And this is exactly why you're seeing picks like Sledge. Sledge can obviously go up there and he can take down those castle barricades, no problem whatsoever. And that might be why we're seeing Sledge coming out on the Evil Geniuses team. And it could perhaps be something maybe they like his weapon as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is more easily to control. So it is one that if you need to be taking out the defenders, definitely I think that's where Sledge has the advantage over Buck.
But you can see the logic. They know that there's going to be some castle strats going on, so they want to make sure that they have Sledge. When it comes down to it and they need to get through that castle door, they don't want to be sitting there meleeing it, you know, for 20 seconds trying to get through there and making yourself really vulnerable to a flank.
And at the same time, you really don't want to use your hard-breaching explosives to have to take down a castle barricade.
No, yeah, BC wants to be going for headshots with those grenades. He doesn't want to be going for the castle barricades. So here we are again. Same thing again. Get the roamers, find out exactly where they are, and try and pin them with a couple of attackers. Let's see if Evil Geniuses are a little bit more successful than Rogue were last round. Here we go, we're cooking up something special here. I think that's Jaeger hiding on those back stairs.
He's put down one of his ADSs though, so he is quite safe there as long as he holds off the defenders with his firearm. I think, yeah, there's no grenades that can push him away from there.
Yeah, and he's got Ella supporting him as well from the side of the bar, so his job is just to waste a bit of time, and that's exactly what he's doing.
There you go, BC tried it on with a grenade, immediately taken out.
Yeah, and there we go. You see just over a minute left, and they're starting to retreat down with the full contingent of defenders still alive.
Yeah, 2/3 of the round down, no kills so far.
So now the attackers, you know, they've got Jackal, they're going to start getting the floors open, see if they can get some picks. They're going to know where a lot of the defenders are going to be positioned. It's just the same strats, you know, both teams will be using the similar positions to hold. You can see they're going to be opening up the same floor. Slash Hub taking down Canadian. So 4 versus 5 in favour of Rogue on the defensive side of things.
Despite now relinquishing control of that top floor, we do still see a very dominant defense.
Very dominant, although Avian has now been dropped by BC. So we've got 4 versus 4, evening out the man count.
Easily now playing as the Pulse below. He has already used his Nitro Cell.
Oh, what a pre-fire. What a pre-fire from Easily. Oh, we're down to 4 versus 1. In the matter of seconds, the attacking team has fallen apart. And there we go, another defensive round win. So as we were saying earlier, which team breaks that duck and actually wins the attacking round, I think, is going to be taking this map. Because it looks like the defences are very strong at the moment from both teams.
A little bit of frustration there amongst Evil Geniuses. I suppose it's the first time that they've really had to fight 1-for-1 and been trading with such an evenly matched team.
It's such a high-pressure event. I can absolutely understand it. Everything at stake here for the place in the final. They're the defending champs. They want to get the job done, and they want to win the first map. But it's just one of those things. Both teams have been so strong on their defense that it's just figuring that out and getting that one attack round win that they need.
Staying calm and staying within the game and being able to execute even when things are going against you is such an important part of the professional matches.
Yeah, Evil Geniuses, they do run on emotion. You see Canadian really hyping up his teammates, really getting in their heads and just getting them to the next level. You see him up on stage just flinging his arms up in the air, and you can see there BC running 4 for 3, so he is really the top fragger of the Evil Geniuses team.
Yeah, at the moment, not many of the others having had much success.
No, there isn't really, you know, a great... There's not really one player running away, you know, 7-0 or anything like that, but we're still at early doors here in this match, and it's still very even between the two teams. It's not as though, you know, anyone's running away with the map. It's just kind of a stalemate, you know. It's like playing a game of chess, and neither of you can get checkmate, so it's just piece for piece, but we just need someone to break the stalemate in this match.
Interestingly there, Rogue with Brian running the Capitao. His ability there with his firebolts and the smoke can be very, very powerful when used from the top of that skylight above the bar.
So that's a really interesting point. Basically, Capitale's going to do for the attacking team what Smoke does for the defensive team, and he's going to, once that diffuser goes down, or even in the lead up to getting it down, he can deny area. He can keep the defenders from getting in and causing issues, because obviously when you're looking down through that skylight, you will have defenders hiding behind the bar, picking up pixel peaks, making it very difficult to take them out. Although notice they don't have a Jaeger on their team, but then again, no grenades. Oh, no, we do have Sledge on the attacking team, so we do have some grenades there for that. But also we have Slash with a Glaz.
Yeah, Eclipse and Slash now making entry through the hatch, pushing into the cigar shop. They do seem to have control of this area of the map at this point, easily though taking down NVK.
So this is actually looking good for Rogue. They're making very good progress in towards the objective and taking down the first defender.
I'm deploying a drone.
Yeah, they're certainly establishing control.
Brian taking down Necroc, so we're now down to 5 versus 3. Could this be the round where we see the duck broken?
Everything's certainly in their favor at this point.
So in come the smokes, in go the fire bolts and smoke bolts even, and will we now... Oh, lovely shot from Slash taking down Canadian. The diffuser being planted, I believe, as we speak.
Wow, that headshot was amazing.
Echo, oh, look at that. The first
Rogue
attack
takes the
round
first win.
win. Yep, there we go. So that's 4-2 now for Rogue because they won the last defensive round, which puts us into match point for the next round. And they will be defending. So
something that's gone very well for both teams up until literally right now.
yeah, I think it's looking very good for Rogue.
Great play there by the Smoke. Smoke being put down by Glass in the end there, and 2 great shots onto the remaining defenders.
Yeah. Yeah, you could hear the echo drone at the end there. They were trying to stop that diffuser plant, but it was all a futile effort, really, because they just managed to wipe out the defenders, whether or not they were able to stop that diffuser going down. And if you notice the last few seconds of the game, you actually heard the diffuser go off, so he didn't quite pull off the yokai drone shot on whoever was planting the diffuser. So
all of the pressure now on Evil Geniuses.
Lots of pressure on them. Let's just see, you know, they have to win their first attack round at some stage, and this is it. They don't win it, first map goes to Rogue, and we move on.
So again, bomb sites on the top floor, so in that bar area. Easier to access, but also can be defended from below.
Lots of, yeah, and we also have the echo and the smoke again. So that was the lineup that worked so well for Rogue in the last round. And they're just going to say, yep, we'll do the same again. It worked. Why change it?
Locate and defuse the bomb.
This is a really interesting mirror placement that gives them such good view into the piano room. So when they do push down through cigar room, you know, when they come down through the roof hatch and try to move into that piano room, mirror can just basically safeguard that whole room from that safe position. And we've had an early pick from BC taking down Eclipse, so that's just what Evil Genius is needed with the pressure on. I didn't see actually where that pick came from, whether Jaeger was making a risky peek out of the window. Did you see?
No, I did not.
So here we are taking down a camera.
NBK there playing as the Jackal.
Oh!
Great run out, but counter-fragged immediately.
Yeah, Slashhug took down MVK, and then Necrox returned the favour to Slashhug.
Such an important part when you're making an entry to sort of cover cover each other's back, really.
It's so important, Siege. You've got to have teammates covering the angles for you. You know, particularly against this high-level players that are going to make these aggressive pushes out if they do sense a little bit of weakness. So we're down to 4 versus 3 in favour of Evil Geniuses, so it might not all be over just yet. It's not looking too bad for them. A minute and a half, still plenty of time. Lovely little headshot there. BC taking down easily, who was playing the mirror.
Yeah, well played by BC there. Now we're down to a 4 versus 2. And I think we might just be seeing the momentum shift towards the attack by Evil Geniuses here.
Just when they needed it as well. Just when they needed it. So we have Echo defending those stairs, and we have Smoke sat on the objective. They're the last 2 defenders that Evil Geniuses will be trying to push out of their position.
Brian there staying very close to the bomb site, defending against that push through the windows with his shotgun. Very risky for him though, and he takes a lot of health, or he loses a lot of health, takes a lot of damage.
An important takedown from Avian. Young now out of the game, but the diffuser is down and they need to retake the site. They have Hibana taking down Avian, which just leaves Brian on the smoke. He's watching the stairs, he's expecting a push, a flank up from behind. This is going to be a very hard retake for Smoke to pull off, because we have someone watching the skylight from above, as you can see, and also we have people on... There we go. So Necrox taking down Brian, and Evil Genius is pulling themselves back from the brink on this map.
Yep, exactly. Now we're 4 versus 3 for Rogue, which means that if they still pull off this attack, they can take the map.
Yep. Yeah, they're still in it, you know. If they pull it back, then we go into overtime. Be interesting to see what happens. I do feel it's going to be a bit of a long match, this. I could almost see it go into the 3rd map, but we could potentially be seeing overtime in every map along the way to that 3rd map. That would be something I would like to see personally myself. So here we are. We're just getting ready for the next map. Just a few pictures of the crowd there. You heard the atmosphere throughout. It's very, very exciting. Lots of NA fans here today and throughout the whole event. A little look at the scoreboard. Slashhug, Brian, Avian doing very well there. And also BC and Necrox really carrying Evil Geniuses. Young Canadian and MVK not doing too well in this first map, though I'm sure it will pick up for them as it goes on. Same strat here with Mira. Again, she will sit in that room and she will be able to watch out for any attackers breaching through from the cigar lounge area.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers' objective is to use the bomb and defuse.
Interesting there to see the entire attacking team spawn on one blob from the north and then moving in from there.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought that they would come from different directions, wouldn't you? But obviously there's a lot of thought behind it. Perhaps it's just the quickest way to get up to the roof and save a few precious seconds.
And I suppose also everyone moving together, you have more protection against anyone peeking from the windows.
Yeah, it could just be the safer place where you're not going to get the spawn peaked, you know, from someone like MVK, someone very aggressive on the defensive team.
The entire attacking team Rogue now taking control of the roof, droning in to find out where they would come against the defenders from Evil Genius.
Notice how Evil Geniuses are mixing it up here. We're seeing our first Virgil pick of the day, and it's just to make that, I guess, you know, throw Rogue out of their comfort zone, throw them a curveball, make them think, oh, you know, what are they doing here? Because they come to expect what the Evil Genius's defense is, and suddenly they're droning around and they're getting this static and they're like, oh my god, you know, where is the Virgil hiding out? I didn't see his loadout though, so I'll be interested to see if he is running with the shotgun. So we're still 5 versus 5. We see easily rappelling up the window. I don't know what's happened there, whether there was an impact grenade and a bit of a peek out toward... That looked like an impact grenade holster. There could have been an aggressive peek there from a defender that we missed on the spectator mode. So we're down to the last minute. No one off the board at the moment, so it's looking good for the defensive team. However, was that Mira pinned in that room there?
It was Ella.
Ella,
Yep.
so perhaps drop down the hatch.
Drone activated.
Okay, more droning, still 5 defenders alive, and they're trying to find the first picks to win this round. If not, we will head into overtime. However, if they pull it off, we move on to the next map. Same strategy coming from above. Ying getting these smokes out, followed by the Candelas, and then in will come the diffuser plants. Oh, followed straight in with the knife kill on Necrox. Excellent there from Slashhug. Easily also picking up a kill on MVK, the Canadian returning the favour on Avium. The diffuser is down 4 versus 2. We need the retake, and they've not got a great deal of time to secure it because remember, there are 4 attackers alive though. Eclipse taking down BC. Slashhug then following, and another attack round win, which gives Rogue the map. And we move on. A few happy faces in the crowd there. Welcome back. So what did you make of that first map, Rogue? Happy with Rogue's success?
Yeah, absolutely. They did very well. Certainly defending, managed to shut down the Evil Genius's attacks quite conclusively. And then at the same time, eventually at least, managing to penetrate that defense by Evil Geniuses.
They were the first team to do it. And that seemed to be really the difference maker between the two teams. The first team to really break that duck with the attacking round. And then really that was just the story of the game. Obviously Evil Geniuses were able to pull it back, but ultimately Rogue only had to win that last round with an excellent attacking push.
Yeah, the team's sort of reconvening at this stage, talking through how everything went before setting up for the next map.
Evil Geniuses will just be, you know, saying, let's not worry too much about that map. Let's now move all our attention onto the next map and start thinking about how we're going to win that one. We can't dwell on what's happened. We've lost the map. We now need to forget about that, put it to one side, and think about how we're going to win the next one. Because if they don't win it, they're out.
It's so important to sort of keep it all together, but it isn't impossible. Like yesterday, we saw Rogue having a very bad first map and then coming back to win anyway.
Yeah, very true. We saw Rogue get absolutely torn apart by Supremacy. Supremacy were hitting some amazing shots against them, but Rogue still had the determination and the conviction in their ability to put it back on that second map. And if anyone can pull a game back from the brink, it is Evil Geniuses. They are the reigning champions, and they're the reigning champions for a reason, because they are one of the most elite teams in all of the Pro League. And that's why they're sat here in the semi-finals. And you know, you could probably argue they probably come into this match as slight favourites over Rogue. You know, considering their pedigree, the fact they've won a Pro League final, a Six Invitational before. Although Rogue even, they're no chumps. They are winners. You know, these are winning players. So, you know, between them, very good team.
Next map starting up now.
Clubhouse.
We're going to Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. We're going to see two objectives being fought over here. You're going to see the basement defense, and then you're going to see the bar area defense as well. They're the two ones we're going to be seeing. We're not going to be seeing the bedroom on this map, and I doubt very much we're going to be seeing what's the one above the garage, the sort of CCTV area. That's very, very rarely picked in the Pro League.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the most common one is the one we're seeing
The
here
Armory,
right now.
Yeah, Armory Church. So here we go, setting up in the Armory Church. I was interested to see if we would see a Glaz. Obviously, everyone remembers when Glaz had that buff some time ago. And one of the things you would see him come through that dirt tunnel, just to the right of BC there, you would see Glaz push down, get the smokes down. Very boring strategy, but a winning one. Obviously, you're incentivized as a Pro League team to pick a winning strategy, not an interesting one.
That's something we've seen happen quite frequently throughout this competition as well.
Yeah, we have seen it happen. It's not as popular as it once was, but we have seen it happen. The attacking team, you know, the interesting pick there for me is Blitz.
Yep.
Could we see a Blitz come down the dirt tunnel? Because I can't see him coming down blue. I think that would be quite a risky maneuver to try and come down that tunnel in towards the Arsenal room. So maybe we'll see him come down the dirt tunnel, if not perhaps down those centre stairs into the basement area.
Yeah, of course we have both Hibana and Thermite there that can open up the end of that tunnel.
Yeah, so we'll see, perhaps the tunnel get opened up, and then we'll see the hatches as well. So here we have a glimpse on Blitz. I'm interested to see where that goes, but BC picking up the first kill. Down goes Brian, out goes the C4. No luck this time, though NVK takes down Eclipse. So we're down to a 5 versus 3 in favour of Evil Geniuses. Here comes a rotation from NVK. Interesting to see this from NVK roaming on Clubhouse. Not a common feature on this map, because you can so easily get pinned down on those top floors. There's not a lot of flanking routes out from that map.
Yeah, not only that, but all the way from the very top floor to then get back down to the armory if required, it's a long way. It's a challenging rotation to make, and because there are so many direct access routes to the armory, both through the dirt tunnel and the blue tunnel, it can mean that your roamers are completely wasted and the attacking team just bypasses you and goes straight for the plant.
Yeah, the difficulty for when you're pulling off that kind of roam is, if you can get back to the objective and still be useful for the team, are you going to pick up kills for your team, which he has done, but the attackers will pin you down, they will stop you getting back. However, MVK has escaped with his life, and we have attackers here just outside the objective on the central stairs. Although they're in a very tricky situation, and he has been taken down by Canadians. So 5 versus 2, looking very favourable indeed for Evil Geniuses.
Slashak still on those stairs, trying to make a push solo now, but he's up against several different defenders. He's been hit hard there, and he's gone out.
So, 1 versus 4, MVK picking up Slashhug before getting killed himself.
They all know where he is now. He's got the entire team of Evil Geniuses rushing towards him.
Wrighton was on the wall there. Wrighton was on the wall. Nice effort, very good defence. I like that use of the boxes by Canadian. You notice he got up on the boxes to elevate his view, and then he could shoot through that soft wall for anyone trying to come from the central stairs down towards the basement church area. So first win there for Evil Geniuses. Switching over now to the attack, and we are seeing the Glaz pick there from Necrox. Probably a dirt tunnel play. So there'll be a pincer movement, they'll get the hatch open with Hibana, and then we'll see a coordinated push down, probably into the armory objective rather than the church. Although these things are fluid, you know, dynamic, they can change them on the fly. If they notice that if the church objective is less defended, then maybe they'll just rotate round and push down into there. So it is a basement defense, again, church and armory.
Canadian again, they're bringing the sledge, which again here is quite important, because not only do you have those 2 hatches above the objectives, the one in the kitchen and the one in the bar area, but also the entire floor is destructible, and you can open up so many different angles there into the common spots where you are expecting defenders to be sitting, but also just opening up the floor around that area to stop them moving and rotating once they get pressured.
It's interesting to me he chose Sledge over Buck, because of course Buck is much quicker at taking out the floor, and there isn't a castle pick. I don't know if he would have expected a castle pick. I don't think so on this particular objective. So, as we said earlier, perhaps Canadian just prefers Sledge's L85 over Buck's C8, which we do know has the much, you know, crazier recoil of the 2 weapons. So perhaps we're going to see Sledge opening up floors in around the stair area, around the kitchen, just opening up the floor so they can look down into armory and pick up the defenders. And then obviously Young playing as Hibana, he's going to be opening up those hatches for the drop as well.
Necrox there, we've seen him droning very diligently throughout the garage and bar area, the lounge area, being as such an important character towards the end of the round when the plant goes down with the smoke playing as Glaz.
Yep.
It's quite important for him to take over a droning role earlier on in the round, assist his team, and then take over later on, because the last thing you want to have is for him to be the first casualty.
And look at that play by IQ, picked to take out the Pulse. Pulse, a very popular pick in this armory objective. The C4 up above. He can also stand at the wall by the stairs. There goes the C4. Not successful at this point, but the area behind Pulse there, he can use his heartbeat sensor to know when they're coming down the central stairs. And also, just to pick up on your point about Glaz droning in his teammate, I think that's very valid. Glaz is going to be important here in the last minute when that final push comes in. So it's important that he drones for those first few minutes to help out his teammates. I think we're going to see our first kill here. Yes, Slashhug taking down Sledge, Canadian. So we have 5 versus 4 in favour of Rogue, the defensive team. Easily picking up the second kill for them, NVK down. But we still have 3 alive. We have BC, Young and Necrox on the Glaz.
Great use of the Gschmott mine there by Slashhug, using it as an indicator to see when one of the Evil Genius attackers was making his way down the stairs, and also using the concussive effect to make that kill all that much easier for him.
So we have the attackers lining up in the blue tunnel, Necrox picking up a kill, and we're probably going to see a push round here. Easily though, taking out BC. The defense are going to have to try and stall the attackers in the blue tunnel. There's only 25 seconds remaining. They've got plenty of utility to do in smoke.
Oh, Young there
with the bearing knife.
Aggressive push and still made it. He was up against it, and the defender knew he was coming, and he still managed to do it. Putting down the plant on his own now, but he has to defend that diffuser against 3,
and there we go.
Loses out instantly.
Really good effort there from Young. He got the diffuser down. He did his job. You're not expected to win a 1 versus 3, but you have to have a good go at it, and that's what he did. So Rogue, they're picking up the defensive round. So we move on to round 3, 1 apiece between the two teams.
Again, exactly as we saw in the last match, very balanced early on and favoured in the defence. Both teams very comfortable defending, and it may well be exactly as it was the last time, that it is the first team that cracks, the first team that loses their defensive round, that will be on the back foot.
Interesting to see such an equal matchup. It's such a finely balanced on a knife's edge, these two teams, and it will be the team, like you say, that can break that and push through. And you know, it's almost a bit cruel, because you would like to see one team really, you know, go out and earn that victory. Not that either of these teams aren't earning it, because of course they are, but it's so finely balanced that it feels like just a little bit cruel for the team that loses, because it's not as though one team is running away with it and the other team is getting, you know, smashed to bits by the other team. It's so equally balanced at the moment. So we now move on to our first defense on the first floor, or the ground floor, in the bar area.
10 seconds
Much
to go.
more challenging area to defend this. You've got the accesses from all the way around, you have windows that can be opened up and doors. The attackers can really choose a multitude of different avenues to push in.
That spawn point makes me think that they're going to go in through the strip club, although we do have Eclipse spawning the other side of the map, perhaps through a pincer movement. But I think we're going to see a strip club push and a planter A. You see around that pool table, that's where they're looking to open up, get the smokes down for Glaz once that wall's open, and prevent, you know, the defenders from stopping the defuse. However, BC on the defense does have the Echo drone, and he needs to get that Echo drone across to the A objective, because that's where the diffuser is going to go down. You can see Avian's got a diffuser. It's going to go in around the pool table area, and BC needs to know that that's where it's going to come, so he can move the drone over to that area, because that's where it's going to be useful. Here we have Glaz moving into strip club himself.
Yeah, he was, I suppose, on rotation watch, on flank watch, outdoors, joining his team members now in the strip club to push forward. Although he's, as I say that, he's rotating back outside.
Yeah, he's going to come in perhaps through this door just to take a different angle. They're perhaps concerned the defenders are going to push them, and they don't want to lose one of their attackers this early into the round. They want to make sure they keep them all alive if they can.
Rogue there,
No, carry on, Rogue, carry on.
Yeah, Rogue being extremely cautious. It's only half the round gone so far, but considering how quickly and how easily two of the members of their team managed to take that strip club, which is so close to the objective, they're now being very careful on that final push.
This stall out is not in favour of the attackers, because Evil Geniuses have had time to rotate defenders round. They now know this is where the push is coming, and because it's slowed down, they have people in place to stop it. Earlier on they had a Legion above, and I also noted that BC's Echo drone is now over by the pool table area, so they have everything in place to stop it. Saying that, the defenders are down 2 men, both Canadian and Young, though NVK. Wow, NVK taking down 2 of the attackers from above. You can see he's above the pool table here, and he's also got a line of sight, and he picks up a 3rd kill, although he's about to get pinned in himself. Wow, taken out by Eclipse with, it says the pistol. Was it the pistol or was it the primary? But it says a headshot with the pistol. NVK down, but he did do his job from above the pool table there in the gym area. Echo drone getting into place to stop that diffuser. Nearly 20 seconds remaining on the board, so the attackers need to start making their move.
Eclipse playing as the Ash there, making a push through the front door, maybe trying to distract while Slasher goes for the plant. BC and Necrox staying close by though. Necrox gets the kill on Eclipse.
Echo drone up in the air, and this is in favour of the defensive team. And I think really that was a very good defence. Where the defence really did well there is how quickly they rotated their players around to where the attackers were going to come in from. We saw the Echo drone in position. We saw at some stage Legion got above, and you could hear him placing down the Legion goo mines, and then ultimately Ella was above looking down that hatch and taking out the attackers.
Yeah, extremely well done. It looked promising at first for the
Very
attacking
promising.
team. Once the smoke went down, Glass did extremely well to pick off at least one, if not two, of the defenders. Both the two defenders went down, certainly putting them on the back foot, but as you mentioned, Ella from above pulling it all back quite quickly and quite effectively.
I mean, that's the least common of attacking pushes, a push into A like that. Usually you see a push into B. You will tell where the attackers are going purely from where they're spawning. It would be illogical to spawn on one side of the map and then go all the way around the map and then come in and make a strip club push. So if you see them spawning over by the east side, then you know that they're coming in for a B push, unless they're trying to rope-a-dope, they're trying to throw the defenders off the centre. We've seen that before, actually. We've seen that kind of mind games take place where they're trying to make the defenders push players over to one objective and then sneakily having one or two guys coming through the other side and getting the diffuser down. Ninja style, if you like.
Rogue now defending the exact same areas. Quite interesting there to see Avian actually making an effort to set up the strip club for more of a defense rather than relinquishing control of that early on.
I think there could be something psychological there where one team almost expects the other team to play how they played. If you have just done a strip club push, that's what's on your mind. Perhaps that's what you're setting up to defend against. So here we go. Buck himself getting the hatches open. This is to apply pressure for a B push, so Buck will be getting the floor open, Necrox will be getting set up for getting the smoke down from outside, and this is a very typical push into B that we're seeing here from the attackers. Though Slash Hug playing very aggressively there. I don't know if we're going to see him going for a bit of a pick. Slash Hug is known for that kind of play, known for the spawn peaks and the aggressive push outs, picking up those early kills. BC down as Thermite and finished off by Slash Hug playing as Jaeger. We have Glaz here rappelling up the wall outside the sort of CCTV cash room area of Clubhouse.
Yes, the kennels area there, and he's quite effectively holding off any roamers above the objective.
Buck picking up a kill on Easily, that's Canadian, but they still have defenders above them. So there's roaming defenders above where they, you know, they need to get in there themselves and be opening up that floor, but they're doing a good job in stopping them from doing that.
Recover the bomb diffuser.
So here we go. We're just going to be identifying where those last players are. Get the smokes down as Capital, then get the entry denial as well, and we'll put the diffuser. So here we go. He's telling his team where he wants it. You see with that mark on the floor. Very coordinated. Buck getting the grenade out. In comes the diffuser plant on those smokes. Do the defenders know it's happening? A lot of rotating going on above. Oh, Slash Hug taking down Canadian on the stairs. So we're going to have a rotation around the back from the defenders. So the diffuser didn't ultimately get planted by Young. MVK with 2 kills, Slash Hug and Avian down. The diffuser is going down now whilst Glaz is covering. However, there we are. However,
Attackers win the round.
Yep. Very good attacking round.
Yeah, diffuser not even needed in that situation. Evil Geniuses there being very effective at taking out the defenders as they were trying to rush back to defend that site.
Yeah, that's the problem with trying to roam or trying to play, you know, a non-turtle strat on that map. If you're going up there, it's very difficult to find a route out. Once you're upstairs on Clubhouse, on the very top floor, it's so difficult to then get yourself back to safety. Although we did see that 1 kill on Canadian on the stairs, but once he's killed, they start moving into positions to stop him being able to get back and make any more useful plays for his team. So here we are, we're getting the operators selected for the next round. Let's take a look. So we have another blitz on the attacking team. We have a lineup of Necrox playing as Smoke, Young as Rook, Canadian as Bandit, MVK as Ella, and then we have a Legion with BC. So it's a bottom floor defense. All the hatches getting sealed up there by BC and MVK, as expected.
It's really interesting during this entire competition. We've seen a lot more
10
blitz
seconds
than
left
I would
before
have
insertion.
expected.
Yeah, a lot more blitz. I mean, that's obviously due to the buff.
5
Look at
seconds left before insertion.
these kills here. MVK running away with it. He is red hot at the moment. 8 kills.
Yeah, and playing on Ella, so every chance that this round he will continue to extend his lead there.
So MVK, if you're new to the Pro League, which is what this stream is all about, guys, obviously we're not pro casters, we're rookies, it's the title of the stream. We're trying to get people interested in the Pro League, but if you're not, if you don't know a lot about the Pro League, MVK is one of those super aggressive players. He's renowned for playing players like Ash or Ella or Jaeger, and he's the one out there hunting down the opposition team, and we're seeing it here with 8 kills. He's really putting a shift in for Evil Geniuses.
We're seeing the push through the dirt tunnel now
Yes,
by
we are.
Eclipse, playing as Blitz, but he's coming up against Smoke, who's using his charges very early on to try and delay that push. It's only still the first minute, and we've got 1 burnt already.
Yeah, so obviously he is slowing down the blitz push so his other defensive team can move into position, but like you say, he's only got 3 of them, and to use them so early when they will be useful in the last 30 seconds of the match might be in the favour of Rogue ultimately.
Slashag now up in support of the Eclipse, playing as Blitz, but also now 2 defenders trying to hold off that push.
But that's the 3rd and final smoke. All the smoke's now gone.
We've got to expect that after that, Blitz will have the chance to push forward, use the flash gadget on his shield, and maybe even get a push past those defenders.
Yeah, Thatcher there moving up in support of Blitz, so he doesn't have to do all the shooting himself. You'll see Thatcher coming in behind him, easily taking down Necrox though. So, 5 attackers still alive, 4 for the defenders. Looking quite good here for Rogue. Maybe they can pull it back to 3 versus 2, though only 1 minute remaining.
And that push through the dirt tunnel, that is not even the main push. The diffuser itself still with Avian and Zofia above, so that just there is to put some pressure on the defenders, move them out of position, keep them distracted.
Absolutely. Young and Canadian taking down Eclipse and Slashhug. So we are now, oh, and BC taking down Brian Avian, taking down MVK. A lot happening very quickly here. 3 versus 1. The attack has fallen apart, and there are still 3 defenders alive. Quite crazy, really, how the tables turned there.
Commentator's curse. As soon as I say that the attack is setting up well, they have every chance, all of a sudden it just all changes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the defenders win the round. Young picking up the final kill there.
Yeah, very brave drop there. Of course, it had to be done to get to the diffuser and try and get the plant, but very, very risky.
The attackers were doing well, but just in that final minute or so, it all, you know, everything broke loose. And, you know, the frags were being picked up by Evil Geniuses, who managed to rebalance it in their favour, because they lost a couple of people early on.
And that's exactly what makes these kind of professional Rainbow Six matches so exciting, because you have that early phase where you can see the strategies evolving and you can see exactly what the teams are planning, what they're going for, both on the attack and the defense. But then when it comes down to it, everything can change so quickly. So, over to the next round. We have Rogue on defense, Evil Geniuses attacking. Evil Geniuses doing extremely well on this map so far. 4-1, and they are on match point.
Match point, win this defensive round, which you're expected to win most of the time.
That's an attacking round?
Oh, no, attacking round. So, okay, so it's not going to be as easy. You would say that the defenders on this particular objective are usually the favourites to win. So, if Evil Geniuses can put it out of the bag, they do win this map, and it'll be 1-1, and we move into overtime.
And if not, they will have plenty more chances to get that 1 extra win that they need to get to the 5 to take the map.
The pressure isn't on. They've got a few chances here before it would be forced into overtime. The pressure is not on Evil Geniuses, it's all on Rogue on this defensive round. First kill of the game, Slashhug playing aggressive and taking down Canadian, putting the odds in favour of Rogue.
Definitely an important early kill, maybe putting Evil Geniuses off of their game.
I think it just, you know, with the pressure building, I think it just releases a little bit of that pressure from Rogue, just to put the odds in their favour. particularly as we're playing match point here.
Slashag now has Ella pre-deploying a couple of the Geschmott mines. We've seen that work for him earlier on in a different round when you had the attacker pushing through that and really no chance to defend once the push from Ella came in to take him out.
Interesting. Another blitz push down the tunnel. So this is some interesting changes in the strats to this particular objective on Clubhouse. Although the defenders seem more than aware about it. There's three defenders prepared for this particular defensive push to stop it happening. Although they're retreating back after wasting a little bit of time. A minute and a half remaining.
You can see all 4 of them now just waiting for the attacking players to exit out of that tunnel. Smoke using his utility again there to slow down that push, stop the blitz from exiting. And the thing is, when your shield is coming down that tunnel, it is almost impossible to take him out or even slow him down much. You can't flank, you can't get in the side, and there, as I say that, BC gets a pick from above on Slashug.
Lovely little kill from BC through the hatch.
Smoke grenades going out now. Thatcher using his grenades to clear the area of traps.
Yep. Very good kill from Eclipse, taking down MVK, delaying the plant of the diffuser. Blitz is in the objective. He's not got a lot of support, so he's lone gunning it here.
Evil Geniuses have lost all 4 now of their attacking players. Necroc's the only one surviving, up against it now against 3 of the attacking defenders.
They know exactly where he is as well, and the pressure's being applied. The defenders are in a good position to repel this attack. Got 1 in blue, pre-firing through the soft wall.
Whichever way round he goes now, they're going to be waiting for him.
He's pinned in position, 15 seconds remaining, no chance. Avian picking up the kill at the end there.
Valiant effort.
Valiant effort, absolutely.
Once it comes to that stage, what can you do?
You're not expected to win those, but you're expected to have a go. So, Rogue keeping themselves alive, keeping themselves in it on this map, Clubhouse. Still, though, we only need 1 win from Evil Geniuses. I almost said Continuum then. From Evil Geniuses to force it over into the 3rd and what will be the final map of this semi-final.
Yeah, interesting to see that balance, sort of how on both maps you've had both teams first balanced quite evenly, and then eventually first in the first map we get Rogue going away with it in the end. This time Evil Geniuses seem to be holding the advantage.
A lot more confident on this map, Clubhouse, although it did begin and it seemed quite even between the 2 teams. As this has played out, this particular map, Evil Geniuses have run away with it a little bit more than we did see on the Cafe map. Obviously this is now the second match, the second round that is match point. And even if they don't win this, again, next round will be match point for them again before it would be forced into overtime at a 4-4. So they've got two tries here at finishing off this map and pushing it into the 3rd and final.
Yeah, we saw the stats just there. NVK and BC on Evil Geniuses. They're doing sort of most of the heavy lifting, and you wouldn't be surprised with NVK playing as Ella, taking out plenty of the attacking team.
5 seconds
And
left
BC, on the other hand, as that echo, you are kind of the last line of defense. But when it comes to that push, he can be so effective at stopping the plant and even stopping the attackers from making entry.
I mean, that's excellent play from BC. You don't expect those sorts of high fragging rounds from a support player, but if they're putting in shifts like that for the team, then all the better. It's frightening, really, because if players like Canadian, known for fragging, start picking up their game as well, it will be quite a scary situation for Rogue. So here we are, 30 seconds down. We're seeing another strip push from Rogue, sorry. You can see them setting up on the west side of the map. Here we go. Thermite opening up the strip club wall.
Eclipse, once again, they're bringing the utility that Capitao has with those smoke and the firebolts. And at the same time, we're seeing Avian come in with Blackbeard. Interesting play on this map.
Interesting play. I think the thing, just getting back to your point about Capitao, it's the synergy with him and Glaz, and the fact that Jaeger, who's been played by Canadian, isn't going to be able to stop those smokes going down. It's guaranteed, but very aggressive play there from Canadian, running out and taking down Slashog, giving him a taste of his own medicine, although Avian returns the favour. So 4 versus 4. Very exciting plays there from the defense.
Very bold. I mean, the diffuser was instantly dropped out there. That was, of course, not pre-planned. It was quite lucky to get that done, but it didn't make it back in alive. So in the end, it's a 1v1 trade. Nevertheless, Evil Geniuses now down 2 players.
Bold, but they can afford it.
Yep.
They can afford to take risks because they have two goes here at winning. So if they want to take a few risks and make it an exciting round and also throw a curveball at Rogue, they can do it. So here we are, MVK coming up the central stairs, just keeping an eye above for any attackers that might be there, opening up the floor to allow the plant to go in around the pool table area. So Evil Geniuses know what to expect. You can see BC's drone, the Echo drone there on your screen, has moved over in place to prevent any plant that goes down, and there it goes off as well. So there it is, round about the A-bomb, above the pool table. It's just being pushed into position. And off it goes again. Blackbeard here is just trying to get rid of it, and he's telling his team that's where the Echo drone is being placed. There again, it is on. There we go. Down goes the Yokai drone.
Quite important there to stop that because it can be so effective at getting the plant down. Smoke is now down.
Diffuser down. Eclipse has been taken out of the game. We've got 3 attackers alive, only 2 defenders.
Everything up against Evil Geniuses there now, especially with that glass still being able to watch over the diffuser. Tentative pushes from NVK at that stage.
So NVK's moved above, as is important, so he can see if he can get pics of attackers watching the diffuser. However, Sledge is also up above and is aware of that.
Avian lost his shield there, but gets away with his life, getting pushed quite hard and taken down.
2 versus 1v1. He hasn't got time now to take out the attacker and diffuser bomb, so that one does go to Rogue.
Easily staying safe there above. He knew he had the grenade. He could use that to stop any kind of last-minute attack on the diffuser, making sure to keep himself safe and able to intervene rather than expose himself and try to get that kill.
It was looking good once, you know, BC... First they took out his Yokai drone, and then they took BC out of the game entirely, and I felt it was looking good for them at that stage. And then it just got to a point where they just, even if he'd made the play and taken down that last attacker, he didn't have the time to defuse the bomb at that stage.
Yeah, exactly. The timings for the diffuser plant and the destruction of the diffuser, of course, slightly different when we go into professional games. 7 seconds, I believe.
Yeah. An extra few hits, it does take longer, and there just wasn't enough time on the board. So here we have another look at the kills. BC and MVK at the top, though Necrox and Canadian picking up some good kills as well.
Very, very even across the team for Rogue. We saw the top 3 players both with, all 3, sorry, with 5 kills, and then the other 2 teammates still with 2 and 3.
This is the last round, then the Evil Geniuses can win it or be forced into overtime. So really, if you're Evil Geniuses right here, you do just want to make sure you win this round. Don't take any major risks, just make sure it's a winning round. Otherwise, you're forced into that lottery of the overtime round where it's a best 3.
Bringing a lot of ability to smash through unreinforced walls. We've got both the Buck and the Sledge coming down this time, and at the same time also Thermite being brought along to take care of any reinforced structures.
Yeah, we have a Buck as well for the above play, just forcing defenders out that might be hunkering down in the objective.
Late reinforcements going down there.
Look at this. Look at wow. Okay, so Eclipse took down Young, but MVK stopped Avian's aggressive push outside. Nice try there from Avian. We do like to see that, but unfortunately not successful this time.
Interesting there to see Rogue trying to sort of put Evil Geniuses off their game, going through for a parallel run out of 2 players at the same time.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, we come out with an even scoreboard, though. Slashhug taking down MVK, but BC returning the favour. We're down to 3 versus 3. Canadian on the drone, just trying to identify where the defenders are, if there are any roamers moving through that transitional part of the map. outside the objective. Buck still above, taking out the floors, forcing defenders to move. Thermite making a play down here with Necrox. So Necrox is playing Glaz, he's just outside. He'll be getting the smokes down, making it possible for the diffuser to go down. I'd expect him to drop the diffuser and maybe have Canadian or BC plant it whilst he watches through the smoke for any defenders that might be coming into play.
Extremely well thrown grenade there, manages to down Eclipse, but of course he doesn't actually know that. He's not getting the points shown as you would normally in the game.
Though he did just see on the drone there, and he knows that he'll be being picked up, so he's going to try and see if he can pick up a second.
Just a tad too late with that grenade.
So Eclipse taking down Necrox, who was your Glaz 3 versus 2. That's the main part of the strategy outlet. The Glaz and the smokes, though Canadian taking down Eclipse, so 2 versus 2.
And now either Canadian or BC have to go back and pick up that diffuser, which is of course always a risky thing to do, especially when you have 2 of the defenders keeping eyes on it.
It's all about this next kill, really. Here we go. And Brian taking down Canadian. So now it's going to be extremely hard for BC versus 2.
Only 15 seconds left. Gets the pick on Brian now. 1v1. 10 seconds. Can he still make it? He has to. He doesn't have time to plant. He needs to go for this kill.
I mean, he would have time to begin the plant, but the second he does that,
he's vulnerable.
He is vulnerable. So, as you say, perhaps when there was only sort of 12 to 15 seconds, he maybe should have just made a push for the last defender, because getting all the way back to the diffuser, yes, you can do it, but then you begin planting the diffuser, and the defender knows at that point that you're going to spend 7-8 seconds vulnerable trying to get that thing down.
Without any kind of cover.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Any cover. So, we move into overtime.
Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. That was It was looking great for Evil Geniuses. Now again, everything is open.
Really open, and you know, Rogue have made a very good comeback on this map. And I would say, of the 2 teams, they're probably the ones that are feeling quite optimistic about their chances. You know, Evil Geniuses were sitting pretty. I think it was even 4-1. 4-2, certainly 4-2.
Yeah.
And here we are now at 4 versus
4-1 even.
It was 4-1, wasn't it? So here we are, 4 versus 4, and I would say morale maybe has taken a little bit of.
You would expect that, right?
Yeah, you would expect that. Rogue are on the ascendancy here. But Evil Geniuses have to win this.
But if there's one thing that always surprises me is how resilient these pro players can be. Like in games where normally you'd think that any normal player would start getting nervous, would start being worried, would maybe see their gameplay suffer. These pros, they're so used to it, they always manage to just keep going and keep doing quite well.
It's leadership as well. When you've got someone like Canadian G'ing up for the team, he's like the general there, just getting everyone G'd up and ready and changing their tactics and knowing what Rogue are going to throw at them. And that's when they really need Canadian now to pull through and just get his soldiers ready for what's about to come their way from Rogue. Now we're defending the Armory Church area again. You'll see a Buck, a Hibana. These are typical kind of picks, but also interesting to see both Ying and Sophia. So they can do kind of similar things between them. So are we going to see hatches and floor open up and their utility thrown down towards the defenders from the hatch?
Yeah, especially once you make that final push into the sides. Sophia can be so useful with her stun grenades, not only in stunning the defenders and making them vulnerable to the push, but also in locating them because of the proximity fuses on those grenades.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. So Buck's opening up the floor, as expected. I just think it's really interesting to see both Ying and Sophia. Usually you would expect to see one, but to see both, I think we're going to see quite an interesting and aggressive push with all that utility thrown down onto any defender in there. Once they've droned them out and they know where they are, out goes the utility, and then a quick push to get the diffuser down.
Very interesting strategy to see here by Evil Genius. They've completely foregone the ability to roam, all 5 of them hunkering down in and around the objective sites.
You see a lot of success with that. You know, as we were saying earlier, you can get so easily pinged roaming above. However, Slashhug can take down BC, and we do have central stairs being pushed as well. Necroc's taken out Avian to equal it at 4 versus 4. Lots of firefights going on. Brian above. Taking out Necrox. Canadian taking down 2, Eclipse and Slash Hug. Hibana still fighting around those central stairs and winning, easily taking down Canadian. So here we go, Utility going down.
Yeah, that's Brian as the Ying, using his smoke to obscure his descent, but getting hit by the Schmott mines. So he's currently stunned, having to wait until that passes, and immediately gets taken out by NVK. Easily now up against it. He has the diffuser, but he has still 2 defenders to deal with. Young gets him though.
Young gets him.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the first one to Evil Geniuses, 1 more for them, and they can claim Clubhouse as their domain. But Rogue are still in it.
Extremely hard fought either way. Whichever way it goes now, they've certainly made each other work for this win. If it's Evil Geniuses, then yes, they take that. If Rogue still has every chance to come back. I mean, we've seen them come back from 4 to 1. For them to get 2 more wins in a row is not something we'd be too surprised about. We have already seen it.
That would be my takeaway from this match as well, because if Rogue win this, if they do come back and they win this set of overtime, they're going to 2-0 Evil Geniuses. But the interesting thing about that, this is not... We're speaking hypothetically here, if Rogue do that. This has not been a 2-0 match.
No, absolutely.
That would be so cruel on Evil Geniuses if that happened, because that first match was extremely tight, and this second match has gone into overtime, so that would be a cruel ending for Evil Geniuses. However, that's the game we play.
Absolutely, yeah. The very final score that shows that the map wins, it really, really doesn't tell the story at all.
I mean, there's been a lot of rounds here that could have gone either way. You know, it's gone to the end, it's been 1 versus 1, 2v2. It could have gone either way. Okay, so we're down to the lower defense. This is the church armory area. Easily setting up a mirror window there. That's to allow him to see down through the church room towards the hatchway. You see he's running now. If they come through that drop hatch above in the bar area, he will be able to see from that mirror window and be able to take them out from a very safe position. Defenders coming back to objective, having done the hatches above to bunker down and wait for this attack. Blitz as Young coming down, although he's walked into a Legion trap, and Ella trying to spring on him knowing that he is in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, great use of that trap there, most of all as an indicator rather than anything else, but also...
Oh, very aggressive there.
Yeah, and it
Very
backfired
aggressive.
instantly, although NVK is down.
MVK down. They'll get him up okay. Slash Hug known for that kind of aggression. Very exciting as a spectator to see that happen. Unfortunately for him, Canadian was ready for it.
Yeah, and as I was saying, that goo mine there, a great defense against a push by a shield, because you can't manage to flank from there, but a shield will then have to draw back, remove that sting, and then come forward again.
This is why he's pushing the Thatcher. Thatcher is the anti-trap operator in the game at the moment. For now, you know, there may be someone in the future, but that's what Thatcher can do, and that's why he's pushing down the tunnel with Blitz. He has to be there to get rid of the goo mine, to get rid of the Ella traps. Even when Blitz went into that goo mine, we saw another Ella mine come out following it. So that's their defense against that Blitz push down the third tunnel.
Yeah, Smoke using his gadgets again there to slow down that push, but still 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Loads of time for the attackers to make their push and plant.
Very interesting little flank here from Avian. He knows that there's 2 attackers there. He's seen them on his heartbeat sensor. He's trying to move quietly, but he knows they're above. So here we go. Oh, and he does pull it off, but he also saw a second person on the heartbeat sensor. Canadian is down. And there goes Necrox 3 versus 3. It was looking quite good for Evil Geniuses for a moment there, but now it's evened out.
Yeah, Hibana's very long rifle there, just giving away his position far too easily.
So Avian taking down BC, keeping Rogue in the game. So a very important game for Rogue to win. If they lose it, we move on to the next map.
Yeah, you have to say Avian has the
Attackers have
pulse
recovered
there,
their diffuser.
pushing from the top, taking out 2 of the Evil Genius's attackers. He's the one who's created this defense
Game
for
over.
them.
Yeah, match. That was interesting because I don't know if you noticed, there was 2 men alive on the attacking team there, but the other man was down, so it was all on him to go back, get the diffuser, and make that final push with, what, 15 seconds remaining?
Yep. Exactly. I mean, he was holding that position well, almost got taken out in the very last second, but still managed to slow the attack and defend from that area long enough to really win them that round.
So for anyone joining us, we're on the second map of the semi-final between Evil Geniuses and Rogue. My name's Prodigio Pete. I'm here with Rogue 9. We're rookie casters, and we're trying to introduce our audiences to the Pro League. And I would advise everyone, do go over tomorrow and make sure you watch the grand final on the official Twitch channel. This is a very important round. It's 5 versus 5. This is the last round on this map of overtime. And if Rogue win this, they win the entire match and they move into the finals tomorrow to take on Penta. However, if Evil Geniuses do pick up this win, they stay alive. This is their lifeline and they move on to the third and final overtime match. So this is a very important round indeed. We're setting up on the ground floor around the bar area, and Evil Geniuses are on the defense.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, very important for Evil Geniuses to make this defense work to stay in the game. Interestingly, normally we see that hatch in bar being reinforced to make it more difficult for attackers to go through. In this case, Evil Geniuses have opened it up.
Yeah, the reason they do that, right, first off, we're seeing Rogue coming in through the strip club area. As we said earlier, they're going to look to get that diffuser down around the pool table. The hatch above is open up as a useful tool for the defenders to see down towards that pool table and to try and stop any plants. It also means if there is a defender above and they do get pinned up there, they have a quick way to get down to the ground floor and escape any pincer movements from the attacking team. So here we go. The Echo drone has been moved over. It's been placed ready at the correct objective where the diffuser is going to get planted.
Yeah, you'd have to think it's probably crucial to try and pressure that Echo before making any plants because it can be so easily denied.
So we have a Vigil hanging around above. Do the attackers know he's in there? They do seem to be looking for him. He seems to be in the bathroom area. They've got a drone out. This is a very interesting standoff because Vigil needs to be careful here not to get pinned in. Obviously, Clips is up there as well. They are looking to pin him in, though Legion is, Younger's Legion is on the stairs ready to help out. Here we are. So they're just wasting a little bit of time. Vigil can drop down through the hatch, remember, if he does need it. The Capital making a play, forcing Legion down, though Slash Hug has been taken out by Necrox playing as Smoke. So looking good for Evil Geniuses. Do need to win this
Attackers recovered
round.
the diffuser.
Sledge and Capital really spending a lot of their time here trying to take out this Vigil. So we've seen good use of the new operator and his ability. And Capital finally taking down Young.
Great headshot there, catching him just on the edge.
That's not the operator they have been hunting, though. They are trying to take out that Vigil. But all of that said, it's a distraction because the diffuser has gone down. 4 versus 3. Canadian did get a kill as Vigil on easily, but the diffuser's down. Glazzy's moving into position to cover it. Echo didn't manage to stop it, but he is still up and running, though NVK has taken down Eclipse. It's 4 versus 2 in favour of Evil Geniuses, the defensive team, though they have to get to the diffuser and take it down. 3 versus 1. They need to get this final attacker, Avian, and also defuse. Very important
all
kill.
Players from Rogue down.
There we go. Evil Geniuses handed a lifeline as they win this round, and the all-important round, which forces it into a deciding third map.
Just wait for the music to die down there a bit. We see that Get Flanked, fellow YouTube content creator, very excited about this map on the left there. Great to see him in the crowd and see him so excited.
We've spent a bit of time with Get Flanked over the course of this event. I can tell you that Get Flanked is a terrible... No, he's a lovely guy. He's a really lovely guy. I've spent a little bit of time with Get Flanked here. Really nice guy.
Not only is he passionate about a game, he is also one of the few passionate players who are also extremely passionate and knowledgeable about the Pro League.
Very knowledgeable. Just a very decent guy, you know, Get Flanked. So if you're not aware of his channel, do go check it out.
Yeah, excellent. And then maybe back to that match, extremely hard fought, going backwards and forwards. You couldn't have picked who would win that at the end. It was so tight on every round.
Right, yeah, right down to the very end. They got the diffuser down. You thought maybe they're going to pull this off, but no. The Evil Geniuses team managed to outnumber the defenders, whittle them down to 1, and then finally, win the round. I think we're going to move over to a short break. I'm hearing from our producer in my ear. So we're going to head over to a short break. Do stay tuned because we'll be back shortly with the all-important third map.
See you. And welcome back. I have to say, we couldn't really have asked for anything more from that match so far. Extremely tight rounds, both on map 1 and then map 2, going into overtime, and now we get the final decider on map 3.
I'm so happy. I am so happy that we're going over to a decider map because it's been so close throughout. If you're just joining us, we are in the semi-finals of Evil Geniuses versus Rogue, and it's one apiece. We've had a win on Cafe Dostoyevsky for Rogue, and then Evil Geniuses picked up Clubhouse, but it wasn't a runaway on either of those maps, and it would have been a little bit tragic if Rogue had picked up that win at the end there on Clubhouse, because both maps have been so close. So we do move on to the third and final decider, which is Consulate. So Evil Geniuses and Rogue are going to be fighting it out on the third map for a place in the Invitational final. So on the line here for Evil Geniuses is their own title. They're the reigning champions. They win this, they go through to the final to defend it. And Rogue here are trying to force their own place into that final versus Penta.
Exactly, and having to face Penta, that must be sort of a daunting proposition for either of these. Of course, they've done extremely well to get to here, and they're doing extremely well against each other. Going up against Penta, though, will be the final challenge.
Penta have been red hot through the whole tournament. They came into the tournament as one of the favourites, and they remain as one of the favourites, having won their semi-final convincingly earlier on today. So they won 2-0 versus Black Dragons, and they've taken their place in the final as one of the favourites. It was kind of expected that they might go a long way in the tournament, and they have done. So Rogue here on attack. Evil Genius is setting up their defence. Lots of utility being expended above the objective just to ensure that those roamers are safe from pincer movements from the attacking team.
And here, no surprise seeing the Blackbeard come out, played by Easily. On this map, you have so many opportunities, so many different windows where Blackbeard can just sit and use his face shield to create angles, hold off rotation of the defenders, and even engage them in one-on-one firefights where he has 100% the definite advantage.
Absolutely. We discussed a lot yesterday that Blackbeard will be used on that balcony area. However, he might be a little bit surprised to find that Evil Geniuses are defending the ground floor. Now it's totally... no, it's not the ground. Is it the ground floor?
Yeah, it is
the ground floor. Okay, so it's totally a viable place to defend, but it's probably one of the least picked of the three on this map. But it's still very viable, and it's thrown in as a bit of a curveball to Rogue, who have picked operators thinking it would have been the floor above, I guess.
Yeah, that's an interesting play by Rogue. By Evil Geniuses, that is, as defenders here, picking the site that you wouldn't expect to see first, and it can throw off the attackers, especially when they're expecting the top floor to be taken, and they've set up all of their operator picks to make that push.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's mind games, right? It's picking operators that are going to work for you, and hoping the other team are picking operators that they're expecting for another objective. So here we go, we're into the last minute and 20 seconds. We have Pulse as Canadian defending the garage area below, which they have reinforced. They will look to make a move into there to force him out because he is down there to see 4 people above, which he can use his heartbeat sensor to locate them.
Only 1 minute left, and we've not really seen any useful progress yet. But you've got the smoke and the incandelas going down at this stage. The question is, will the defender below playing as Pulse, exactly, will he be able to spot that plant going down and able to see for it? Didn't even need to do that.
Canadian is still alive, but he didn't need, you're quite right, to take the diffuser out because they didn't manage to get it down, so he's still got that C4 if he needs it later on. However, saying that, there is only 30 seconds remaining. Brian here droning out, looking for anyone that may be a threat. Although it looks as though the diffuser is now going down. Has Canadian picked up on that?
Unsure. No, we're not seeing that yet. The push is yet to come. Pressure now on Rogue. They're rushing in. It's all down to Brian once again as the Hibana. He manages to get down 1, 2 in fact.
2 kills. Excellent effort there.
Well done, yeah. I mean, yeah, was it on a 1-on-4 at the end there, and he still managed to take out 2. Well played, but once again, a situation that we've seen several times now is that he, as Hibana, is the last player to push in, last player standing, and he's just trying his very best to rush in and get that last chance, sort of, and yeah, it is always up against it. It's not worked out for him yet.
He was up against it, you know, 1 versus 3. Interesting, I thought that he was switching to the Bearing 9 at the end there. Obviously, it probably doesn't have the ACOG on it, but obviously very powerful weapon in its own right.
Yeah, that just happens. I mean, the primary weapon there, the assault rifle, is a great weapon, but with only 20 plus 1 bullets available, you run out of ammunition so quickly. Switching to the Bearing 9 is just a really quick backup.
Really quick backup and an excellent submachine gun in its own right. We saw on the scoreboard there, Necrox had a great first round, picking up 3 kills, all of his own, as they move over Evil Geniuses to the attack. So Rogue setting up their defense.
Going for the same one.
Going for the same one. Also, you'll notice they have a Pulse who will be playing below. So he'll be playing around the garage area and C4ing towards the piano room.
5 seconds to insertion.
Interesting to see this setting up of rotation bolts above the site as well.
Objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Just providing the freedom for roaming and for getting, for not going through those predictable corridors. If you expect a defender to move through a corridor, you can hold a sight line on it. However, if he can take another avenue, he's got more chance of keeping himself alive.
Yeah, especially since he's quite isolated all the way on the top floor, trying to hold off any push from there. Without any backup, having to retreat from the push can be quite challenging.
Yes, it is. They've just, NVK, their droning, just picked up the roaming pulse below, so they know the strategy. They were doing it themselves, and they know now that the enemy team does have a pulse down there, and they're going to be wary of that when it does come to planting the diffuser. However, you know, they may commit a little bit of time to try and pin Pulse down and take him out of the game entirely, although they are moving in above the objective just to ensure that there isn't anyone sort of sneakily placing any holes in the floor and watching for that diffuser plant.
1 minute down already, and I have to say, I think we're seeing again Evil Geniuses being rather tentative on the attack. They're being very cautious, plenty of droning, and again, we're almost halfway through the match and not even a single player has made it in, really.
Yeah, they're feeling out the defenders. They want to get an idea for where they're positioning themselves, what strategy they use and what their operator picks are, and then obviously take it from there with their strategy. Buck is now inside the building and he's going to start making his way down the spiral stairs. However, Pulse is below Buck there.
And yeah, this tentative push, of course, it is important to drone out the situation, know where your defenders are and where you can encounter them, but at the same time we've seen it backfire on them earlier because now we're already down to the last minute and only now do we see eventual pressure being applied.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Slashhug up there, who's playing as Ella, defended by Castle Walls, and he was in a position at that time to be above the diffuser plant, so he was there to stop any plants or any transition between the two rooms and take out the attackers. So what they're trying to do is get him out of his position so that they can easily plant the diffuser. Saying that, easily taking down MVK, however losing his life, which makes it all the more easy for them to plant the diffuser without that threat below, and it does go down. Echo missing it, he's in the front door. This is going to be quite easy to defend for Evil Geniuses with attackers on the outside already.
Canadian doing well there, moving up the stairs to take out one of the defenders, but getting refragged almost instantly. Interesting to see the smokes go out as the plant has already gone down. He's just trying to obscure any view from the main door onto him, and maybe even use that as cover to move up eventually. And we see Necrox run into a mine put down by Slashhug. BC gets the final kill.
So there we go. Evil Genius is picking up the second round and moving on over.
Yeah, they're doing well. They're doing well here. It's looking good for them. Great play on that. I mean, I was thinking about it at the time. Having those two roamers, well, roamers above as well as roamers below, it can be quite good when you have that plant and you're in position to take them out and pressure them. But at the same time, if there is any distraction of those roamers, you can end up seeing exactly what we see here. A plant goes down right at the front door, and then all of the defenders have to collapse back in and try to retake that, which is extremely difficult to do.
I don't know if it was intentional or not, but you notice early on they did see the pulse, and then it was sort of like, well, we're not going to go into that piano room and try and plant the bomb there. We're just going to go through the front door, put it on the front door, then have someone back out into this kind of spawn area outside, able to safely watch it. And at that point, you can have as many smokes as you want being thrown down. That is going to be hard to contest an attacker with an ACOG assault rifle.
10 seconds left.
So this is now I think the first time we're seeing the defense on the top floor.
Yep.
And the defensive team are Evil Geniuses, as we said earlier. All of the objectives on this map are defendable. A lot of the maps, we were talking about Clubhouse earlier, they do have objectives which are less favoured by the Pro League teams, but not Consulate as much. Some of them probably pick more than others, of course, but they're all doable from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, interesting point on this top floor is that both of the bombs are accessible directly from the outside. So we can have a similar situation as we saw in the last round, where sometimes all of the roaming can even work against you if the attacking team manages to get in and get that quick plant.
Yep, so we're droning in here. We're basically just trying to identify what the setup is, what they're doing. You see they're looking at the rotation holes here. They've got eyes on, I think that's Pulse. We'll notice that Jaeger. Yep. It's very hard to see.
Yeah, once they put on their elite skins.
Yes.
That was Jaeger though.
Yeah, so he's identified Jaeger holding the stairs. They'll get someone over towards the skylight. Necrox down easily with the grenade though, taking a little bit of full damage as he rotates around to the ground himself, though repelling back up.
Yeah, well, very well placed grenade there, managing to take out one of the defenders, increasing the pressure on the rest of the team.
BC there playing as Mirror is one of the linchpins of this whole defensive strategy. I don't know if you saw, but they had that middle wall reinforced and then 2 walls beside it shot out, so he can just strafe and he can stop any entry through those windows. From an attacking point of view, they need to get him off that position.
Canadian going through.
Oh, that was a nice try though from Canadian.
Yeah, with his device, of course, he saw that there was one of the attackers at the top of the skylight, tried to put the nitro cell down and get the kill. It didn't work out for him this time.
So it looks there like the mirror window has been shot out. We don't have a twitch on the attacking team, so someone has managed to get an angle on it, and now they've been able to force BC playing as mirror off that position so they can start making their way in through that window, start preparing to get the diffuser down. Saying that, BC as mirror does take out Slashhug, and Eclipse then takes down Canadian.
Great positioning on those stairs there. Able to just watch the attacking player come in through the window. Really no chance.
Very good point. Here we have Buck just having a little bit of a duel there on the stairs. Looking at the outline of the player below, it looks kind of like it might be NVK as Bandit contesting those stairs with him. We have Brian on the balcony Trying to make a push in, though. Eclipse here is conscious that he can't change his focus away from Bandit there, because the second he does so, Bandit's going to come up from behind and take him out. Avian taking out BC, Brian taking out Young, 4 versus 1. We're now down to 1 versus 3 with NVK finally taking down Buck.
Plant is going down, that's why the timer has run down to 0, but still running. Now all down to NVK to make that final push, that retake, and it doesn't work out for him.
This time, unfortunately not Brian there with the final kill, though those situations aren't beyond NVK. We've seen throughout this match he has been picking up lots and lots of kills, and he's renowned for that kind of play, that aggressive play. He's the one that you would want on your team. If you're in a clutch situation with 1 man alive, you would want NVK.
It was a great play by the Buck there in that bathroom, because from where he was, he could stop any kind of push from the stairs, and that's where we saw the initial defensive success, being able to stop the swing in and the plant from the stairs by Bandit, I believe it was. But then once Buck positioned himself there and started putting pressure down those stairs, it was impossible for the player on the stairs, defending player on the stairs, to stop that swing in and the plant.
Very good point. I think in the end, like you say, MVK did get Buck out of that position, but there was a bit of a to and fro between that duel, because obviously the whole time MVK is sort of like he's holding Buck in that position really, because the second that Buck moves, he's going to come up those stairs. But also, you know, Buck is doing his attacking team a favour by restricting the movement of the defensive team. So it's, you can see it from both points of view really.
Yeah, and that's so important. It's not always about pushing forward and getting those kills. Sometimes just taking up a position near the objective and stopping those angles of attack and allowing the rest of your team to make that final push, and the plant is all that you need.
Very true. So we're seeing our first defense here of the garage area below. This is the bottom objective, of course, and we have Rogue on the defensive team. Bandit, an obvious pick for the garage doors, which will be reinforced. Not expected to necessarily stop them from getting opened by Thermite, who is being played by Necrox, but just to slow down that attack and push overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we're at this level of play, it's only just a slowing down measure. Eventually, almost every match we've seen that is on this objective, we've seen those doors go down at some point, and that is probably the favoured position for the plant, because again, you can plant it from the outside on the very edge of the building and then retreat back outside, where the attacking team with their ACOGs have the advantage over defending that diffuser.
Canadian's preparing to do it now, so he's got Necrox on the wall, watching into that stairs area. He's got BC above, and here he goes. He's now taken out the Bandit batteries. So that's the plan anyway. He's droning above, he's going to push in, and those Bandit batteries you see on the wall there, that's what Canadian is going to aim to take out to allow Necrox as Thermite to get the charges down. Necrox, however, at the moment is giving him that covering angle, rappelled up on the wall, watching the stairs, so that Canadian doesn't get pushed from any roaming defenders above. As you can see, Ella is up there, and Young taking Ella down. That's a key position that Ella is holding there, because they don't want attacks taking the piano room and opening up the floor into the garage. They do still have one in the small bathroom behind the mirror window. Saying that though, the Thermite charges are now going off, and the plan to plant the diffuser behind the white van is coming into action with MVK taking down Avian. We now have only 3 defenders remaining, although NVK has been traded out by Eclipse, 3 versus 4.
Yeah, well played by Eclipse there to know that the push is coming in through the front door. Such a crucial area to hold, even though now that the doors at the bottom have been opened, we can expect a plant in the opening of the garage there at some point.
Very good point indeed. BC taking down Eclipse, 4 versus 2, so it's definitely looking in favour of Evil Geniuses on the attack. However, you don't want to duel it out with a shotgun at close range. Brian eventually taking down Canadian, playing as Ash, 2 versus 3. Buck above.
All down to easily now in a 3 versus 1. Time against the attackers though. They will have time to plant. The diffuser's going down.
Will we see a C4? We will see a C4. And Oh, the timing!
Just too late. The
Just
diffuser
too late.
has been managed to put down. Now you have two very powerful attackers
have
in
eyes on
both
the diffuser.
Blackbeard
Attackers
and you have the Buck opening up the ceiling on top of the diffuser. Very difficult for Easily here. You'd say almost he has almost no chance. He'll have to take out both of those attacking players before being able to defuse, and he doesn't manage.
Do you know what? I want to say really nice attempt from Easily. You know, he almost, it was like a cat's whisker from getting that C4 into position and stopping that diffuser
There we
plant.
go,
There we
nice
go
replay.
with the
He
replay.
does get the kill with it, but it was just a fraction too late.
Just a fraction. Very close. Nice effort there, Easily.
And you have to say, if he had managed to get that kill just in time, he would have had the diffuser right there.
He won it.
Yeah, and it would have had to, you'd have probably had to have Blackbeard push forward, retake that diffuser, go for a replant. Maybe Buck on top could have still caused some problems, but valiant attempt, and it almost paid off.
Had he got that kill with a C4 and stopped the diffuser plant, the attackers would then have to go for killing him, because they wouldn't have been able to go for planting that diffuser without him rounding the corner and taking them out there. They would have had to switch, because they'd have had two attackers alive to taking down the last defender. It would have been the only logical solution to that problem.
Evil Genius is here doing extremely well. They're doing 3-1, and it's interesting to see that almost all of their team on 4 kills. Very, very balanced. Everyone's pulling their weight. Everyone's cooperating and working well together as a team.
Yeah, very good point. Everyone's doing their job, top to bottom.
I have to say that, I mean, you mentioned earlier the passion that Canadian brings to the team. I think he's been a bit calmer today. I haven't seen him quite as fired up.
Do you know what? I've been so focused on what's going on. I haven't even... You saying that, I take a look over at the spectate mode and you see a little image of the player. And do you know what? I haven't noticed that up until now because I've been so busy watching the actual gameplay going on. So I'm going to keep a little eye on Canadian and see if we can see some animated behaviour as we come towards the end of this game.
Yeah, it's a very new feature, having that camera on the player as well, being able to see them as they're playing. I think it's a great little addition.
Yeah, I love the new spectate mode. I think it is a great addition. They've also changed a little bit of the soundscape in the game. Yeah, so there's like quite a bassy sound when the kills are pulled off. So here we go, 45 seconds into the action phase. Everyone's still alive. Pulse below, keeping an eye out. Trying to give that intel to his team. Same tactic as we discussed before. Pulse will be looking to not only identify and give away positions of any of the attackers, but also be there when the diffuser goes down to stop it, as we tried to see, or as Mira tried to do in that very last round. But obviously Pulse will be doing that from the garage area.
And Rogue fully aware of that, because I think what we're seeing Easily they're doing as the IQ, not only is he droning the area, but he's also using his gadget trying to pick up that pulse that they are expecting downstairs.
It's a strategy we've seen them using too, so it's, you know, when you're expecting your enemy to do what you do, and when you know that they're picking the same operate,
I think we've seen it every round so far, right? Where whenever the objective is here, you see the pulse below. It is so effective, and it is an obstacle that you have to deal with first as the attacker.
This is an interesting placement of the yokai drone. So it's not actually on the floor where the objective is. As far as I could tell from that spectate mode, it looks like it's the floor above. Now, was it just taken out? No, it's still, the Young's yokai drone is still alive. So I'm interested to see what the plan is in that, if he's going to drop that down maybe through a hatch and bring that down to the floor below. Because I would expect that to be like a plant denial.
Yeah.
Like we've got Pulse, he's doing the plant denial. I expect the yokai drone to be used for that. We're down to the last 40 seconds. Ying Candela's going off. Canadian picking up a kill. BC, Necrox, MVK, 5 versus 1. The attack through the front door, which was Rogue's push, has been completely stalled. The yokai drone's into position, but I don't think it's going to be needed. 20 seconds left. We're going to have to see one of the best plays in Pro League of all time for Brian to pull this off.
Yeah, all 5 defenders of Evil Genius, they know where the diffuser is, they can see it there, they know Brian has to go and pick it up, and all they have to do, they're not even going to pressure him too much, they're going to wait for him to move forward, and he's not going to have the time.
It was one of those things that was literally, that was not even doable. There was no point even picking up the diffuser and having a go, and he knew that. What's you know, 10 seconds seconds left. What is the point? So that was a foregone conclusion at the end there. Very well played, though, by Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, quite amazing to see.
Everything happened in like a couple of seconds.
Less?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on a 5v5, the push goes in, and all of a sudden everyone taken out. And that just shows the effectiveness of the defensive setup there. Everyone's holding their angles, a lot of time spent feeling each other out, and when that push came in, it was well orchestrated. Everyone went in at the same time, different angles, and yet everyone fell on the attacking side.
So again, we had a quick look at the scoreboard there. Evil Geniuses, as you said earlier, very even across the board. Not so much so for Rogue. A few players sort of standing above the others, so they're going to be needing the rest of the team to really pick their game up, because this is match point now. This is not only match point, this is game point for the final. So if Evil Geniuses pick up this win, get through that garage door, get a diffuser down behind the white van, they win.
Yeah, but then I have to say déjà vu, because on the last map we were in exactly this position, and Rogue managed to pull it all the way back to an overtime situation.
They did, but also if you think to the last time they attacked this objective, we had easily on mirror, and we had that last second C4 over to the white van, but it wasn't quite enough. I wonder if we're going to see something similar to that this round.
Yeah, you can see it's a very similar setup. Easily will again be playing as the anchor down below with the mirror window setup in that little office, so that he can have a complete overview of the entire area in the garage.
Right, so we're seeing the attackers just droning off the floor here, just trying to pick up where the defenders have located themselves, and then they'll start making a decision on the push in. Obviously, at some stage, they're going to need to deal with those bandit batteries. I'm guessing maybe that's why they've brought the battery. Maybe he's done that already, though Ash is more than capable of pushing through that door, turning right and shooting down. Those batteries are still alive, so Ash is more than capable of doing that if she's got the support of the other players. Now you see someone holding that small bathroom again. That's area denial, not giving away the floor above the garage too easily to the attacker. She has a hatch she can drop down if she gets pressured and pincered in that position. But what she'll try to do is hold it for as long as possible, waste as much time as she can before then dropping down and taking up a position. Oh, what? Now, was that because there was a missed time with the EMP grenade, or was that actually?
Well, it was definitely the bandit
juggle.
That was definitely the bandit battery going down, and we can see there Avian as the bandit playing extremely close to those doors, which allows him to put down batteries last moment if required. That's exactly what he's there for. He also has the support of one of his teammates just protecting him against that Ash push from the stairs. And here, though, we see that BC is also making a push to those stairs as the Buck.
I think the person holding the mirror window then said, I'm going to drop down, I've done my job. So BC did take down Slash, so we've got 4 versus 4, 51 seconds on the board to finish this off. So Buck is about to realise that that area has been vacated.
Yeah, that's fire coming from the hatch down below. Something to distract the attacker, something to make them think about fire still coming from that area. But yeah, they will at some point soon realize that no one's in that bathroom anymore.
And we've got a duel up here. Sneaky alert, though, she gets caught out by Young. With that area vacated, Buck can now start opening up the floor and applying some real pressure. Smoke here trying to stop the diffuser plant going off behind the van. Avian taking down MVK with a headshot with the SMG. 12 seconds on the board. It's now or never for Evil Geniuses with this plant. Necrox needs to get in behind the white van with the support, but BC taking
on his own now.
He's on his own. Yeah, Wrighton was on the wall there. Good effort all round.
Yeah, absolutely. Evil Geniuses had every chance there. You had the thermite at the white van with the diffuser. He could have put down that plant. He was getting some support from the stairs at the side, but once his supporting player went down, it was just a matter of time.
Yeah. It's like you said earlier, we had a very similar situation to this in an earlier map where Evil Geniuses ran away with it a little bit, then Rogue pulled it all the way back to 4 versus 4, and then we went into the overtime situation, which is best of 3.
Still plenty of match points left, but then again, we've been here before, so
I mean, You wouldn't choose to be in Rogue's position.
Nope.
But saying that, they have pulled it back. They know they've been in this situation. They've done it before, and they could do it again now. But, I mean, if you wanted to choose to be in the position of one of these teams, it would be Evil Geniuses, because they've got this round on match point, and if they don't win this round, they've got the next round on match point too. So if they win this round, they win, they go through to the final. If they don't, they win the next round, same again.
Young opening up the wall there next to the Consul's office. A great way of keeping an eye on anyone rotating up those stairs.
Okay, so we're on the top floor here. Lots of reinforcements going down the prep phase. BC there, putting that mirror window down so you can watch the east windows, anyone repelling in. Again, a tactic to slow down the attackers, and if possible, just repel them from even getting into the administration office.
Interesting there, Rogue this time choosing not to bring a Blackbeard, despite his undeniable effectiveness, especially on this specific objective. Then again, they still have Sophia there that can make an entry, and of course easily on Thatcher that can help take out some of the defenses for the push. Slashhug on the Ying can definitely help with the final plant once those go down. So I'm expecting him as the diffuser carrier to stay back to a degree and stay safe.
Canadian picking up the first kill there with Eclipse going down, putting Evil Geniuses at 5 versus 4.
Aggressive defense, they're hiding right behind the window, and of course as Pulse, he would have had every chance to know that one of the attackers was moving up and be able to take them out in a surprise ambush.
Very true, and I wonder if the absence of a Blackbeard here is because Evil Geniuses have been quite clever with their defensive objective picks, and maybe they just didn't expect to see the top floor, and they didn't pick the Blackbeard because of that. Because Blackbeard is useful here on these windows, peeking into the top floor, but they've been quite unpredictable really with the objectives that they've been choosing.
Slashhug putting down a lot of fire with the LMG there, not directed immediately at anyone. You can expect that maybe he's hoping to get sort of a pre-fire, catch one of the defenders as they're moving out, or make enough noise to cover the movement of his teammates.
Very true. I think he was firing towards that small bathroom. Maybe he saw someone rotating around the top floor, but I think, you know, often they'll have a rotation hole in the wall of that small bathroom anyway, so they can escape down to the stairs and they don't have to come out of that door that he can see there, repelling on the window. So a lot of pressure here on the west side of the building, which makes, is it a B push, or are we going to have a rotation round to the balcony area? Slashhug with the diffuser on that west wall.
Defender has left the area.
See a run out
Wow.
by Canadian, very brave, and it misfires, it went wrong. Slashhug there did very well while repelling to notice that run out and managed to get the kill, defending himself there.
Very, very good spin round. Had Canadian pulled that off, it would have put it very much in the favour of Evil Geniuses. Little bit of a standoff going on the stairs there. Out go the Candelas. We're preparing for the diffuser to go down from Slash.
Again, Netrox has the Jaeger there on the yellow stairs, hoping to pick up one of the attackers as they swing in. Gets taken out though, 2 kills go to Ying.
10 seconds left.
Bandit, yep, go ahead.
Down goes the C4. It was more of a guess, you know, a sort of usual place where he knows that the diffuser will be planted. Obviously, Bandit doesn't have the utility that Pulse has, but unfortunately for them, Rogue did manage to see the round out in the end.
And there we go. Now we're 4-3 already
4-3.
from 1-4.
Where have we seen this before?
Probably just about one map ago.
Yeah, just about one map ago. So again, pressure on Evil Geniuses. If they win this, they win it all.
Great respect to Rogue there. That
Absolutely.
Twice in a row, they're on match point, having only achieved 1 win for themselves, coming back in this fashion. It shows their resilience, really, and being able to pull back even in a challenging situation.
They've shown resilience throughout this matchup, you know, coming back throughout. And then even the match they won, they didn't stomp EG, but they showed resilience even when they picked up a round, lost a round, picked up a round, lost a round, kept going and managed to inch it out in the end. So This looks like it's going to be a very tight final map. 4 versus 3, Evil Geniuses on the attack.
Brian there playing as the smoke for Team Rogue. He's been, certainly on this map, one of their key players, out far ahead with the top frags. While, of course, Evil Geniuses, again, still very balanced.
Attackers recovered.
So we have here Rogue setting up their defense on the top floor. And Evil Geniuses picking a Blackbeard. So that balcony you see on the left of the screen there is where you will expect probably to see the Blackbeard, although he's just as useful on the west windows if applying pressure into the B bomb site.
Interesting to see there, Avian using his ability as Castle to castle off one of the windows on that balcony, yet not the other.
So that really, you know, maybe that's just to say we now know the probability what window they're going to choose to come from, and we're reducing their lines of sight, and we can only watch one line of sight instead of two. So it's just playing the odds in favour of the defensive team.
It's actually really a great play because it forces the attacking team to pick one side. It makes it much easier to defend, and Evil Geniuses didn't really bring a lot of ability to take that out from a distance. There is Hibana, but do you really want to waste one of her charges on removing a castle barricade?
You know, at first sight, it's kind of confusing. Why would you castle barricade one window and not another? Well, simply put, it's just to reduce the different angles that you're going to have to defend against. So it's really quite a clever play there. So we've got Slash Huggazella roaming around aggressively on the floor below, as is his style. The attackers are droning off, trying to locate where those defenders are. We're going to see a bit of a duel coming out here with Sophia and a player to his left, which I'm not sure he's necessarily aware of.
No, that'll be one of the players in bomb site A behind that partially reinforced wall. And then interesting again, we're talking about half castling off the windows. They've also half reinforced that rear wall. So quite safe there as the defender.
Canadian taking down Avian and Sophia. Young following it up with a kill on Brian, down to 5 versus 3. 50 seconds left of what could be match point. MVK taking down Slash Hug. 5 versus 2 in favour of Evil Geniuses. But 2 kills being picked up by Eclipse before finally being taken down by NVK. 3 versus 1. 35 seconds remaining. It's looking quite desperate here for Rogue, but it is in his favour that he's defending.
Yeah, he knows exactly where the attackers are, yet they know exactly where he is. The plant going down, 2 of the team members covering
there
the
we
approach.
Go. Well done to Evil Geniuses. Commiserations to Rogue. And Evil Geniuses march on as defending champions to the grand final tomorrow versus Penta. So we've got an NA-EU final lined up for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to them. And you have to say, you have to feel for Rogue. They fought so hard on all of the maps. They took the first map. Second map was such a tough challenge for them, going down 1-4, bringing it back all the way to overtime, and then on the second map almost attempting to do the same and yet faltering right at the last thing. They've put on a great show. They've done well.
Yeah, very well played, Rogue. Very well played to both teams. Either way that result went, you're going to have some feelings for whoever the losing team was. It was tight throughout. We had overtimes within overtimes, and then eventually Evil Geniuses were able to see the match out and march on to the final tomorrow.
Yeah, I suppose if you'd have tried to make a prediction, Evil Geniuses may well have been the top pick.
Yeah.
But going by those matches, I think it was 100% a toss-up. Either of those teams could have made it through and would have well deserved to go through.
Rogue can walk around with their heads held up high. They did not get steamrolled here today. They really put up a big fight, and it could have gone either way. You know, there were so many tight rounds between these two teams, which you don't often see. You know, Penta won 2-0 earlier today, but here we had it into overtime, and we had overtime within the maps as well. So it was a very tight match between these two NA teams. But ultimately, we do have an NA team in the final up against Penta, the sort of powerhouses of the EU region.
And that really sets us up perfectly for tomorrow. When you think about one of these teams today, Evil Geniuses going up against Penta. Penta's done very, very well, but what a match that's going to be. And if you've enjoyed this match or this match today, I can only recommend that you catch the official live stream tomorrow with proper casters, rather than two guys just having a go, having some fun. Having done this a little bit now, I have to say I've always had great respect for the pro casters, but giving it a go yourself, wowie, the job they do is quite challenging, and they do such an amazing job. If you haven't seen the pro casters do their job with the actual Pro League games, and tomorrow for the final, I can only recommend check out the official Twitch stream and catch that.
Do make sure you catch the final tomorrow. It's going to be a great game. There's got, you know, EU being represented with Penta, who have been a powerhouse all year, winning Pro League finals, and we have the defending champions from NA. I don't think you could have written a better story. Thank you everyone for tuning in. As Rogue said, do make sure you tune in to the professional casters tomorrow. What we're doing here is all about giving the Pro League a little bit of exposure to our audiences, because we think there's a lot of merit in people going ahead and watching the Pro League. There's so much you can learn from these great players here today. But we're rookies. We make, no claims to be procasters. We're YouTubers just having a go and trying to bring it to our audiences. So do go off tomorrow and make sure you watch the final with the professionals. And I just want to say thank you ever so much for tuning in and putting up with our casting. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you're new to the pro scene, make sure you check out the ESL Rainbow Six channel, where they upload all of these matches too.
Yeah, and a big thank you from me as well to everyone watching the stream on my channel. Thank you so much also for all of your positive comments and your great feedback on the last stream. It's really great to have you guys along for the ride, to see your enthusiasm for the game and for the work we sort of try to do. Really, thank you so much for that. And thank you also to Ubisoft for giving the both of us the chance to be here, to sit on this stage, to sit here in the studio and share this experience with you. So with that, I think I can say thank you very much again, and we'll see you in the next video.
Take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The absolute best.